Hey, homeschooling parents, I want to show you something today that's a little different than just teach your kid to read this or read that or do this kind of math. That all goes without saying. There's different ways to approach it. I want to engage with you. I want to tell you something that I perhaps would not have known if someone else hadn't shown me this. But I think that this is one of the greatest ways to get your child's imagination thinking and growing. And I feel like this has had a huge impact on my child. I'm in no way affiliated with any company. I accept no sponsorships. No one pays me to say anything. These are my thoughts. No one censors me. No one gives me anything. Okay, so we got that out of the way. This, if you've never seen this box, it comes in different colors. It's red. Ours is red. It's called a Tony box. And what this box does is you purchase little characters. They can be Disney characters or from your favorite TV show. Like, I don't know if there's Blippi, but there's like the Wildcrats. This is Paw Patrol. There's Disney ones. And you just pop it on here. Did you hear that? And then it starts playing. So I think it connects to the internet, and the internet downloads whatever this is and onto there so that you can listen to it. It's cool. The point is that this tells a story. Sometimes they're like 35 minutes or 45 minutes or an hour. They're one story. So each of these has like one story in it, and it goes through and your child listens to it. And usually they're from the cartoons. So if you're listening to Peppa Pig, for example, Peppa Pig's part is from the cartoon. I think Paw Patrol's one is from the cartoon. So if they've seen the cartoon, they're familiar with it because they're hearing it for like the second time. They're just not seeing the video aspect to it. And the reason I think this is so great is because when they're watching something on the iPad or your phone or TV, they're visually seeing it, they're listening to it. It's great. It's like when we used to watch TV, it's like we're watching any video. But when they're listening to it, you can see that they're engaged in a different way and they're imagining it differently. And the way I know for sure that this is true is because with my child, when he listens to this, whether it's a new one or one of the older ones that he grabs, he's thinking of how to apply that to his life. So for example, if he's listening to a Wildcrat one, he's thinking of they're going on an adventure. How can we go on an adventure here too? We can take rocks, for example, and pretend those are creatures that we catch while he's listening. He's trying to apply it. And one of the highest ways of learning is not memorization, it's application. So most people can memorize something from a book. The Earth has this many continents. There's this many planets in the solar system. This is the periodic table, but can you apply it? Can you find out how to figure out what's the most dense gas if you're given a gas inside a balloon? Can you figure out what you're seeing in the sky based on the shape of it, based on the different planets and their sizes? It's how you apply it that shows that you actually understand something, you are able to teach it to others, and that you have full comprehension, you've learned it completely. So when they hear something, when they hear a story and they're able to apply it in their real life and use their imagination to create it, which they don't obviously always do, but when they do, when they feel compelled to do, they're taking that extra mental growth, extra mental application that I think is absolutely beneficial to them. Because I don't think kids are just designed to read or just watch TV or just play. They have to do many of these together to get to that next level. And you want your kid, if my kid's 4, I'd love for him to think like a 6 or 7 year old. Obviously he's not matured like a 6 or 7 year old, but if he's able to use his imagination like a 6 or 7 year old, I'm happy. I think it's beneficial to him, because when you get to a certain level, you want your brain to be able to imagine new things, because that's how you're going to problem solve. If you have a strong imagination, in my opinion, you can problem solve amazingly better than other people. And maybe if I'm able to create videos, and I can create videos that I do for my clients, it's because of my problem solving, my imagination on what I can create for them. If I wasn't challenged as a kid, now we didn't have these as I was growing up. I had G.I. Joes. And what I would do with the G.I. Joes, and I'm sure other kids did as well, I'd gather 5, 10, 20 of these G.I. Joes. I wish I still had these. And I'd create stories about them. Like, these 5 are attacking these 15, and then these are attacking these. And then one of them's kidnapped, and then they have a karate championship based on a Van Damme movie that I had seen. And I applied what I had seen in movies to the G.I. Joes. And I think maybe at some point there was Dragon Ball Z that I was doing towards the end of it when I was like 11 or 12, towards the end of when I was playing with it. And I just love those G.I. Joes because I can use my imagination to create any kind of scene I wanted. And sometimes I loved watching movies. Sometimes I loved playing with the G.I. Joes, and I probably prefer to play more with the G.I. Joes than watching movies or playing video games, because video games, you're also using your imagination on what's going on, but it's telling you what to imagine. It's telling you, hey, what do you think is coming up in this scene? Imagine this fight, imagine this that's going on, versus you're creating your scene from your imagination. If you can think back to when you were kids, I think you'd agree with what I'm saying. And if you don't, that's totally fine. Trial and error it with your kid. See if you can get your child to imagine things on their own constantly, consistently, and see where that takes them. Now, I know this is an expensive box, and many people will be like, this is not worth it. I'm not going to spend that. It's too expensive. That's fine. You have an alternative. And if you don't want to spend it, then it's your duty to do the alternative if you understand what I'm saying about imagination. So what I would do is I would grab a phone, and if you don't have a phone, grab a tape recorder. You can buy a tape recorder used probably for like $10 and record your own story on there. Record your story that you go with your kid and you go see dragons, or you see a princess in a castle, or that there is a group of people coming to town and they're going to steal the crops, and you guys fight them by creating tools from the kitchen, and they're allergic to this kind of liquid that your kitchen has. Use things that the kid is familiar with. Use it to expand their imagination, to challenge them to think differently so that they can come up with problem-solving ways with the story. And you just have to spend time recording it. So, you spend 30 minutes creating a story, maybe create one story a week, and then they're gonna love to continuously listen to that. Now you have to find something for them, from them to listen to. Maybe they can listen to it on the phone or iPad or a tape recorder. I listened to tape recorders when I was a kid because I'd record music onto there. I didn't have any CD players. So don't look down upon that. If you're trying to save money, this is an alternative way to go. If you have a way of challenging your kids' imagination, please write it in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear of new ways to help someone problem solve, whether they're 4, 8, or 12, or 34. If you can get someone to problem solve differently, if you can get them to use their imagination, I think you're winning. I think that's golden. If you want to see more videos, click any of these. My name was Arash, proud father. Thanks for watching.